welcome back to White Mountains today. Very psyched to see Meghan Simone in the studio here. Good morning, Meg. How are you?
Good to be. I was so excited to see you.
I don't think I've seen you for a year, maybe even more.
And how is that? We live in the same town. There's so many people that I don't get to see, and it's like, wow, we actually live like a mile from each other.
I know, it's very close, but you guys do a lot of traveling, though. You have the van, and you're out, doing your weddings and stuff like that. So you've already been on the road for that,
right?
But one of the things that you've been doing that I don't have any experience with, Toastmasters, and it literally is when Hans joined. That's when I started hearing more about it. And Hans is one of our producers for the live show. And he raves about it. Like, he calls it his second family. He said no organization has done more for him than Toastmasters. What's the premise behind it?
It's so fun to hear that. He is such a lively spirit, and we're grateful to have him. Toastmasters is a worldwide public speaking and leadership organization. So there's over 15,000 clubs worldwide, 330,000+ members worldwide. But locally, it really is a place where people can come to work on their public speaking and or leadership in a safe and supportive environment. So some people, like Hans, I know, is a phenomenal storyteller, but I think when he joined, maybe he wanted to work on finessing some of his storytelling. And he's super creative. He has a lot of witty ways of presenting his stories, and everyone is there for a different reason. I mean, it could be that you need to try and work on your interview skills to get a promotion or get a new job. Maybe you have to go in front of the planning board and you've never presented anything before and you want to just learn how to get up in front of an audience and work on confidence levels.
Topic? Like when you walk in and there's 30 people that one's an interview, one's public speaking, how do you discern or how do you get out of it what you need?
Well, every single meeting format is the same, and there's different components to each meeting. So some components are more speaker based and some components are more leadership based. So every meeting, we meet 6:30 to 8 p.m. and the meeting starts on time. Same format. We have people that get assigned roles in advance, so people time speeches. Some people are chosen for the week or they volunteer for the week to give a speech, and there's different manuals that we work from. For example, this is our competent leadership manual. So I tend to work more on the leadership aspect, where some people use our other manual, which is the competent communicator manual, and there's different projects that you can choose from. So for example, if you are new to the club, once you feel comfortable enough and you want to start giving speeches, you can do your icebreaker talk. And that's a speech that's really, considered one of the easier ones because it's about you. It's about yourself.
Right.
And all you have to do is either give a story about yourself, or you can give the history of yourself, or maybe talk about what you do for work, but it's just to get you in front of the other Toastmasters.
Which some people have never done. You've had some speaking experience just working here, but also working as a rep from here out in the public. So that's why I was curious. I was like, you have so much experience doing this. Why would you start a club? But it is the leadership part for you.
A lot of leadership for me now. When I originally started going to meetings, there wasn't a club here in the White Mountains, so I had to drive all the way to Moultonboro. So that was an hour and a half at least from where I live, one way, just to go to a meeting. So when they said, someone wants to start a club in Conway, I was like, I'll help, get this started. And it's, so originally when I went, it was because I had to give a presentation at a conference, and I've hosted the show for years and years, and there's no one in this audience except the director and the person running group.
I still sweat.
I love this because you can just talk to the cameras. People are out there watching in TV land, but
hopefully, huh?
And a lot of it's sort of off the cuff, unscripted, where we know we have to go to weather and talk about the events and things like that. But when you're giving a presentation in front of a large audience, it's pretty. You want to stay on time, you want to stay on track, you want to make sure your body language is okay, how's your eye contact, how's your confidence level, how is that coming across okay, so that people are going to think that what you're presenting is actually viable information.
Like a charismatic.
Right. So I had a host of things I wanted to work on to give that first presentation, and then since then I've had to give a lot more presentations, and so I pick little things to work on. And some people are there just to really feel more confident talking in front of people. I mean, so many people are spend more time online and
Right.
don't get the human interaction these days.
Right.
So
well, I think some of the things that were mentioned too is social anxiety. That it
Right.
helps you deal with it, come up with tools that you can actually feel more comfortable. And who doesn't want to feel more comfortable
Absolutely.
going into situations that previously you don't have the skills? I mean, no one teaches you that. And again, as you mentioned with the digital,
Oh, yeah.
it gets a whole lot different because to say something here and then to say it in person,
Right.
totally two different things.
And it's even things like walking into the bank and having a conversation with the teller, or if you're a server at a restaurant and you want to learn, and you're always like, gosh, all these other servers make way more in sales. They're always upselling. Where's my confidence? Why can't I
Right.
get that extra sale? Things that's all stuff that you can work on in Toastmasters is finding your confidence. It's definitely a great club for anybody to join who wants to feel supported in whatever their goals are, and it's a place where we try to empower people
Okay.
for sure, like give them the confidence. And
Yeah.
everyone has sort of a mentor, and there's nothing graded or it's not like school or anything like that. We have these manuals so that people can provide feedback. So for example, when I was the Toastmaster, you can get critiqued on being the actual Toastmaster. Each meeting there is one Toastmaster, and they're sort of the MC of the night, and they introduce all of the different people in the various roles. So they'll call up the grammarian to explain what the grammarian role is. That's actually a really, really fun aspect of our meetings, is that there's an counter that counts all the ahs and ums that people say, so you can see kind of where your filler words are.
I'd be so killed in that.
It's great though to see people's progress. Some
Right.
people start off with like 20 ahs, and then a couple meetings in, they're down to 10, down to 5. But we also have a grammarian role, and that's a good one because that person's role is to listen throughout the meeting and pick up on any good, like proper uses of grammar and incorrect uses of grammar.
Chris, we're gonna make you the grammarian. He once came up with this list of words Kelly can't say. It was mountain, weather, White Mountains today, my own name.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So there's a whole host of other roles. Timer. So when we do what are called table topics, there's a timer that makes sure that we stay on time, or else people like me would talk forever. But each meeting has a different theme. So last week, I believe it was careers or jobs we never had but wish we did, or something. And so
And Hans was the Toastmaster, right?
He was the Toastmaster,
Cool.
so he got to call up everybody in their various roles and MC the evening and make sure it stays on time.
All right.
And then with our table topics, everyone gets 1 to 2 minutes to talk about that particular topic, but they're given a question. So it's very impromptu. It helps people learn to speak on their feet.
Great.
And
Okay.
of course, if you get up and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know, can't answer this question right now, then of course you can just talk about whatever.
All right. So
Yeah.
where do you guys meet here in the Valley?
We meet at Granite State College in Conway.
Okay, great.
And
this is specifically for the Mount Washington Valley. Folks are traveling. You can
we have
probably
members
go
from
Google
Harrison,
it.
Maine. We
Okay.
have 'cause there are
Chapters everywhere.
chapters everywhere. So
Okay.
if you're not actually from the White Mountains, look up on Toastmasters.org, I believe it is. You can
Yeah, Google it.
Google Toastmasters.org. There's clubs all over the country.
Great.
So if you're from Massachusetts and you want to get involved down there's so many major cities
Okay.
in Mass. There's a lot more clubs down there, but
Great.
they're all over New Hampshire too. Our club is great for pretty much Western Maine and all the White Mountains.
Okay. And they should find you on Facebook. That's probably the easiest way to
Yeah,
find
you
the
can
local
find us
chapter.
on Facebook or just Google, Mount Washington Valley Toastmasters.
Okay. And it is membership driven, and that provides the materials and support. for the
Right.
club.
Yep. You can come to meetings. You don't have to sign up. You can just check it out
Okay.
and come as long as you want. I think 6 months, it costs maybe $30 for 6 months, and you get your manuals with that.
Great.
And then that just is dues to basically have materials for
Right,
our meetings,
okay.
because there's a lot of printing costs and
Wonderful.
ribbons and things like that.
And is it every week, did you say?
It's every other.
Every other week, okay.
Wednesday, 6:30 to 8 p.m. at Granite State College in Conway. Right now we're meeting on the second floor, but when you walk in the building, you just have to look at the billboard and it says what room we're in, but usually 211 on the top floor.
And should they give you a heads up if they want to come by, or can they just come by?
If anyone has questions, they can reach out on Facebook, get in touch,
Okay.
or just stop by a meeting. It's always open to the
Wonderful.
public for anyone to stop in.
Well, that's very interesting, and I'm definitely going to stop by.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in, of course, the speaking skills. I was having issues this morning. I could have used your help, Meg.
It's also good for learning how to give proper feedback to people, evaluation. So if you're a coach, if you need to work on just giving people feedback, it's
Like, if you have kids,
yeah.
that probably would help.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I
Meg,
appreciate it.
Always good to see you, and
Likewise.
congratulations on all your success. And
Oh,
Toastmasters is going gangbusters. And so, folks, you can find Toastmasters for the Mount Washington Valley chapter online at Facebook, or you can Google Toastmasters and find your way through to this chapter, or just stop by one of the meetings. And again, stay tuned. It's at the Grant State College, and you just check the billboard for the room. So, Meg, thank you
Thank
again.
you. Thanks.
Appreciate you coming by. And folks, don't go away, because we'll have more information on Toastmasters. We'll also have some more information on that upcoming Watch and Win, weather, and events. So stay with us.
Hello and welcome. My name is Hans Bauer, and this is